Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Sharmini Pires coming to you from Baltimore. If fleeing refugees are an indicator, one could conclude that there is a global surge in war, conflict, and persecution that has caused the record number of people to flee their homes in search of safety. Well, the United Nations Refugee Agency reports that there is a record high 60 million displaced people amid expanding global conflicts. If you have been wondering what is exactly causing this exodus, refugees putting their lives and the lives of their children at risk, our next guest, Patrick Cockburn, is trying to put this in context in a series published in The Independent. Patrick Cockburn is a correspondent for The Independent and was awarded Foreign Reporter of the Year at 2015 Press Awards. He's the author of many books, among them The Rise of Islamic State, ISIS, and the New Sunni Revolution. Patrick, thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
So, Patrick, let's put this in context. Now, you wrote that we are in an era of violence in the Middle East and North Africa, with 9 civil wars going on in Islamic countries between Pakistan and Nigeria. Elaborate on this and what is causing this exodus.
Well, we're in an era of extreme violence. These aren't just wars, they're civil wars, and they're particularly bloody and cruel civil wars, stretching from Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Libya, Somalia, South Sudan, northeast Nigeria. And some of these started some time ago in 1991 in Somalia, but most of them are fairly recent. And it's getting worse. I mean, fighting is now spreading in southeast Turkey. There were 16 Turkish soldiers killed at the weekend by Kurdish guerrillas. But the heart of it is the war in Iraq and Syria. From Syria, we already have 4 million refugees. In Iraq, even just in the last year, we've had 2.6 million refugees. So it's the tremendous, horrific conflict going on in these two countries, essentially fueled by the caliphate, the so-called Islamic State, fighting the Iraqi government, fighting the Syrian government, other jihadis also there. That is leading to people fleeing these countries. And people certainly in Europe, they were conscious these wars were going on, but they'd really only struck home, I think, when these people started reaching the shores of Europe, reaching Hungary, trying to get to Germany. And when they saw this poor little Kurdish boy, Alyon Kurdi, lying dead on a beach in Turkey. So it's quite recent that people have realized the full calamity of what's happened.
Yeah, the war is at their shores. But Patrick, this has been going on for a long time. I mean, the war in Iraq and Syria is not new. What is causing this specific exodus at this time escalated in these numbers?
Well, you know, the exodus from Syria has been going on quite some time, since sort of 2011, 2012. But remember, a lot of these people thought they were going home. They thought this war would be over. They went into Turkey, they went to Lebanon, they went to Jordan, and they thought maybe a year, maybe at worst 2 years, we'll be going home. A number of things have happened. The war hasn't ended. That's true of all these 9 wars, actually. They don't seem to be ending. This war in particular hasn't ended. So you have people who are living in Turkey. They didn't have jobs. Their house may have been in ruins back in Syria. So now, you know, they're despairing and they think, well, we're going to be permanently in exile. So that's why they're heading off to Germany, that says it'll give them sanctuary, and anywhere else they can go.
All right, Patrick, let's come back in part 2 and examine this a little further. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the Real News Network.